In the first two chapters, we traced how artificial intelligence has evolved and taken shape over time, then unpacked how it actually works under the hood, the logic behind it, the hardware it runs on, and what it takes to keep it alive. But now it's time to follow the money, to trace the value chain behind all of it, a chain that runs from mines and raw materials all the way to the autonomous agents now starting to act on their own, with a real company sitting at every single link along the way. Energy and power. Every time you open a tab with AI, somewhere on the planet, a machine swallows electricity. In 2026, data centers together consume around 1,000 terawatt-hours per year, a figure that reports compared to adding an entire country like Sweden to the global electrical system, or even an additional Germany, depending on the scenario. 1,000 terawatt-hours. It is an amount of energy that is not perceived inside a laptop, but that on a planetary scale resembles a slow earthquake in the world's energy crust. It is as if every year we were channeling the fury of a chain of moderate volcanic eruptions, but instead of lava, what flows are floating point operations. A new form of geology, tectonic plates of silicon and gigawatts, sliding beneath the surface of the human economy. In this new cartography of power, the old industrial empires have reconfigured around 7 colossi: Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, and Tesla. The financial press baptizes them as the Magnificent Seven, companies that together concentrate more than a third of the value of global stock indices. They are not just technology companies, they are private ministries of reality, each with its own vision, its own ecosystem of models and devices. But below them, in the deep layers of the system, even more critical entities operate. TSMC from Taiwan manufactures most of the advanced chips for Nvidia and Apple. It is the only blacksmith capable of forging 3-nanometer swords. ASML in the Netherlands controls the narrowest bottleneck on the planet, the EUV lithography machines that etch transistors at atomic scale. Companies that produce high-bandwidth memory, SK Hynix, Micron, Samsung, feed Nvidia's GPUs. Without their HBM modules, the silicon brains would be empty shells. The new geopolitics of silicon is not only negotiated in diplomatic summits, but in 10-year contracts, exclusive foundry agreements, ARM architecture licenses, state subsidies for Intel Foundry and Samsung Foundry. They are power packs that chain continents to the promise of computational sovereignty. Now that we're introduced, it's time to uncover the AI value chain. If you look at this transformation from the perspective of capital, the chain is clear. It is a ladder of value that begins in the rock and ends in digital agents that sign contracts. Extraction and raw materials. Without materials, there is no hardware. Companies like Albemarle, SQM, and Ganfeng Lithium extract lithium and other crucial metals for batteries and high-conductivity components. Ultra-pure silicon suppliers like Shin-Etsu Chemical and Sumco supply the wafers where the chips are etched. Mining giants like Rio Tinto or Glencore control the circulation of copper, cobalt, gold, the metallic veins through which the electrical pulse of each calculation circulates. Machinery and photolithography. Before manufacturing a chip, you have to manufacture the machine that manufactures the chip. Here, the bottleneck is brutal. ASML, and only ASML, builds the EUV lithography systems capable of etching 3 nanometers or smaller transistors. Applied Materials, Lam Research, and Tokyo Electron prepare the silicon surface, deposit layers, etch patterns. They are the 21st century smithies, where the blade is prepared before the laser cuts. Design and foundries. In the next level appear the fabless design houses. Nvidia, AMD, Apple, Broadcom, ARM. They do not own factories. They own ideas coded in chip architectures. TSMC, Samsung Foundry, and Intel Foundry materialize those ideas into wafers, turning blueprints into atoms. Here today, the highest margins of the system are concentrated. It is the stratum where it is decided who dominates computing, who accesses the 3-nanometer node, who stays relegated to coarser processes. HBM memory, owned by SK Hynix, Micron, Samsung, is the closing factor. Without it, Nvidia's GPUs cannot ingest data at the necessary speed. These are alliances that resemble silent military pacts. If one fails, the entire fabric tears. Infrastructure and cloud. Hyperscalers such as Microsoft, Amazon, Google, or Oracle buy chips by the tens of thousands and sandwich them into extremely dense data centers. Companies like Vertiv and Eaton design the electrical infrastructure that prevents these synthetic brains from turning off. Energy companies like Constellation Energy agree on constant supplies, often nuclear, to sustain the load. Arista Networks and Cisco weave the high-speed network that allows thousands of GPUs to function as a single distributed brain. Foundational models, the brains. On this base, models are trained. OpenAI with GPT, Anthropic with Claude, Google DeepMind with Gemini. Meta launches Llama as an open-source bet. Mistral AI emerges as another player in the open space. Platforms like Hugging Face become brain marketplaces. Repositories where models are shared, optimized, combined. Here, iron and kilowatts are no longer sold, but encapsulated statistical thinking capacity and weights is. Applications and agents, the interface. On the surface, the visible brands appear. Microsoft with its Copilots, Adobe with Firefly, Salesforce with Einstein. Palantir applies these capabilities to military and data analysis. Benevolent AI tries to rewrite the medical discovery process. And on the most disturbing edge, autonomous agent systems emerge. AutoGPT, OpenAI agents, Crew AI. They are not just assistants. They are entities that can take a goal and pursue it through multiple steps. Buying, hiring, negotiating, coordinating. Without rest, without distraction, without sleep. Each step of this ladder is an alliance, a pact of mutual dependence. Countries, companies, sovereign wealth funds, and investment banks align around this chain because they know that whoever controls the flow of silicon and energy will control, by extension, the flow of decisions. And we're about to hand those decisions to something new. Not just models that answer, but agents that act. For years, we measured AI by the number of questions we could ask a chat. It was a clear relationship. You ask, the machine responds. In 2026, that dynamic is shifting. Millions of companies are preparing to deploy autonomous agents, systems that do not wait for explicit orders, but execute processes from start to finish. Imagine an agent connected to global markets, capable of monitoring prices, executing orders, renegotiating contracts, managing inventories, coordinating international logistics, all in real time, 24/7. It is not a tool that suggests options. It is an operator that acts for you. It will sign digital contracts, update terms of service, redesign supply chains while you sleep. You will be the nominal owner of the process, but the sequence of decisions, the fine tissue of chained actions, will not have passed through your head. These agents will inhabit liquid computing bunkers fed by 1,000 terawatt hours per year, executing matrix products on NVIDIA chips manufactured at TSMC with patterns etched by ASML EUV machines. Every contract they close, every code they deploy, will be sustained by a lineage of vaporized tin, atomic mirrors, and nuclear reactors. They will be the final crystallization of the binder, swarms of parallel processes that build an operational will. As agents accumulate history, context, strategies, they will begin to optimize decisions not only for your explicit goals, but for statistical criteria they themselves have synthesized. Agents are not coming. They are already among us. And the companies we've walked through today are the ones who will build them, power them, and profit from them. In the next videos, we'll go deeper into each of them. Who they are, what they control, and why it matters for your money. The chain is clear. Now it's time to follow each link.